Europe cannot protect itself without the United States, and this reality is far more uncomfortable than most European leaders are willing to admit publicly. For decades, Europe has spoken the language of strategic autonomy, sovereignty, and independent power. Yet beneath the rhetoric lies a hard dependency that has only deepened with time. The modern European security system was not built to stand alone. It was designed around American power as its foundation. From logistics to intelligence, from airlift to missile defense, from command structures to nuclear deterrence. The United States is not a partner of European defense. It is the system itself. Strip away our capabilities, and what remains is a fragmented collection of national forces that lack the scale, coordination, and readiness required to defend the continent in a high-intensity conflict. This is not a question of bravery or professionalism. European militaries take capable soldiers and advanced equipment, but they lack the integrated depth that modern war demands. Europe does not possess sufficient strategic airlift to move forces rapidly across its own territory without an aircraft. It does not have satellite intelligence network required to detect, track, and respond to threats in real time without U.S. data feeds. Its missile defense coverage is limited and uneven, relying heavily on American systems to protect population centers and critical infrastructure. Even basic sustainment, fuel, ammunition, spare parts depends on supply. Chains optimized around U.S. coordination. The dependency was manageable when the strategic environment was stable, when threats were distant, and Washington was assumed to be permanently committed. The assumption is now under strain. The war in Ukraine exposed the gap between European ambition and European capacity. Despite significant political will, Europe struggled to produce ammunition sale, replenish stockpiles, and sustain long-term military assistance without U.S. leadership. Defense industries were slow, fragmented, and constrained by national procurement systems that prioritized sovereignty over speed. The reality is that Europe optimized for peace dividends after the Cold War, reducing defense spending, downsizing forces, and outsourcing hard security to the United States. This was not an accident. It was a rational choice in a U.S.-led order where American power was reliable and cheap. But that choice came with consequences. Today, Europe faces a more aggressive Russia, a more volatile Middle East, cyber threats, missile threats, instability on the periphery, all while lacking the independent means to respond decisively. European leaders speak of building a European army, but political reality blocks meaningful integration, national sovereignty, domestic politics, and historical mistrust prevent the creation of unified command structures capable of acting quickly. Even within NATO, European forces rely on American leadership for coordination and crises. The uncomfortable truth is that Europe does not just lack hardware. It lacks the institutional muscle memory to fight without American direction. This creates a strategic paradox. Europe wants autonomy, but autonomy. The consequences of this dependency extend far beyond military planning because security shapes everything else: economic confidence, political stability, and global influence. Europe's prosperity rests on the assumption that conflict will be contained, trade routes will remain open, and borders will not be challenged by force. These assumptions hold only because American power underwrites them. Without the United States, Europe's deterrence collapses unevenly, creating openings that adversaries would exploit immediately. Russia would not need to invade Western Europe to destabilize it. Pressure on eastern states, hybrid operations, energy leverage, and political interference would be enough to fracture unity. The absence of American intelligence and rapid response capability would slow decision-making, increasing uncertainty and panic during crises. Markets would react before missiles ever flew. The idea that Europe could quickly replace American support ignores the scale of what would be required. Building independent strategic lift, intelligence networks, missile defense, and nuclear deterrence would take decades, not years, and would require levels of defense spending that European publics have consistently rejected. Even then, duplication does not guarantee effectiveness. Power is not just equipment. It is coordination, experience, and credibility. The United States brings all three in a way no single European state can. This reality shapes global perceptions. Allies in Eastern Europe trust American guarantees more than European ones. Adversaries calculate risk based on U.S. involvement, not EU statements. This is why calls for European autonomy often coexist with quiet relief when Washington reaffirms its commitments. The paradox is that Europe wants independence from American dominance while simultaneously fearing its absence. This tension produces indecision, half measures, and strategic ambiguity that weaken deterrence rather than strengthen it. As global competition intensifies, ambiguity becomes dangerous. A Europe that signals uncertainty invites pressure. A Europe that relies on American power while questioning American leadership sends mixed signals that adversaries can test. The future of European security will not be decided by declarations or summits, but by whether Europe confronts the cost of real independence or accepts continued reliance. There is no cheap path between those options. Either Europe commits to becoming a genuine military power, capable of defending itself without external guarantees, or it accepts that its security is inseparable from American strategy. Pretending otherwise delays necessary decisions and increases risk. The uncomfortable conclusion is that Europe's strength is collective only when anchored to U.S. power. Without it, Europe becomes a geopolitical space rather than a geopolitical actor, vulnerable to influence, pressure, and fragmentation. This does not mean Europe is weak. It means it was built for a world where American leadership was constant. That world is changing. Whether Europe adapts fast enough will determine not just its security, but its relevance in a system where power, not intention, decides outcomes.